Welcome to the Inspiration North podcast, inspiring stories from inspirational people and how they found their passion, their true north. I'm James Eves.
And I'm Michelle Minikin, and this is the Inspiration North podcast.
Today's episode, being in business with a friend. They're not a couple. With Andrew and Pete. We talk about which one is Andrew and which one is Pete, cutting multiple income streams to one to ensure maximum growth, focusing on things they enjoy, make the most money and are scalable, and what each of them want for Christmas.
Andrew and Pete are the fun business duo who help small business owners scale their businesses so they can stop swapping time for money. They have a weekly YouTube show and run one of the UK's leading marketing membership communities called Atomic. Winners of the Digital and Social Media Company of the Year Award and also Business Personality of the Year Award. As the authors of 2 hit books, The Hippo Campus and Content Mavericks, they regularly keynote international conferences such as Social Media Marketing World and have been featured on sites such as Inc., Huffington Post, Social Media Examiner, Convince and Convert, Entrepreneur on Fire and Kim Garst. They are ranked in the top 100 digital marketers in the world and host one of Europe's largest small business growth conferences, AtomicCon, happening in Newcastle upon Tyne. You can find out more about them at andrewandpete.com.
I think probably the best first question is, who's who? Because not
Oh.
everybody gets it right, do they?
This gets us, and I feel like it's even harder now we're on a podcast as well. So you guys listening, this is the voice of Andrew coming into your ears.
And this is the voice of Pete. I hope you prefer my voice.
I think we both put on a voice to do that part just then as
We
well.
did.
It was like a,
Your posh radio
we're
voices.
not going to sound like that for the rest of the interview.
This is our radio voice.
So what's the main differentiator? Is it glasses and hair?
Well, I'm in a wheelchair, usually, so that's a big thing.
I feel like that was the obvious.
Yeah.
I was about to
I'm the
say
guy in
that.
the wheelchair.
He's
Andrew's
the
the
guy
one that
can't walk
pushes him.
properly. I'm the pusher.
That makes it nice and clear then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I understand you get this question asked quite a lot. So, you guys a couple?
No, we are not.
Yeah.
He wishes.
Yeah. We're a couple sometimes, but for the purposes of this, no.
No. Whenever we tell our story, like the first thing we say in like the first minute is, and then Andrew wanted to move to Newcastle to live with his girlfriend, because he has a girlfriend, and we are straight. So we just like to put that in there. So it's a good question. Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Sorry. Okay, so tell us how you met.
Our eyes met across a crowded room.
But we're not a couple.
No. we first met at Lancaster University, and we got placed in the same halls of residence together. So we essentially lived in the same flat. We just became friends over, drunken nights out and watching Friends on the TV every day. That's how it first started. That's how we first met. Just serendipity, I guess. Just a coincidence. And we got to know each other, and we both bonded over our ambition to one day rule the world. We were really both quite ambitious. We were in a couple of the same classes together, but not many. And that's how we first met.
Yeah. We ran the Young Entrepreneur Society at Lancaster University. So I think that is probably when we first started talking more about business together. I think we both had like a passion for business and doing the Young Entrepreneur Society and then setting up a little business after our second year of university. I think that maybe solidified our friendship and solidified like the business partnership. And yeah, when we came to graduate, it was a case of, should we go and get a proper job now, like everyone else, like all of our friends were doing, like what the university was telling everyone to do? Or should we actually like take a shot at this? Like, should we set up our business now? And like Pete said, I was moving to Newcastle to live with my other half.
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Yeah.
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
And I basically said to Pete, like, why don't we just do this now? Like, I'm going to live in Newcastle. Do you want to come with? We can set up our business now. We've got no wives or mortgages or like big responsibilities. Maybe we should do this like now rather than wait till we get like a steady income and get comfortable.
What were you studying then? Was it not the same course?
No, well, I did business economics, and Pete did.
I studied entrepreneurship and management with a side course of fine art.
Oh.
Yeah.
mix.
So I didn't actually want to go to university, and my mum dragged me along to like an open day. She's like, I think it could be really good for you. So I went, and I actually just really wanted to start my own business and not go to university. And when I went to the open day, one of the first stalls that I saw was, hey, you can do entrepreneurship. And I was like, wow, like maybe I could study it and it would be a great chance for me to just like live by myself for a little bit away from home. My mum actually never thought that I would ever leave home, like, because I was very dependent, being a wheelchair user. So that was really tough. And so I thought I'd take that opportunity. But quite frankly, it wasn't anything helpful or practical in that sense of I could come out with some really good skills to use to create a business. It did give me a lot of overview of things that I maybe needed to know, but it was more like theory, like what is the theory of entrepreneurship and what is the definition? But like, who cares? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So I ended up doing a lot of marketing modules and business modules, which overlapped a little bit with Andrew's.
Yeah, because I was completely different. Like, I was always expected to go to university from a very young age. I'd always been quite a high achiever at school, got good grades, and that was like the path. I was going to do my A-levels, go to university, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do afterwards. So I actually changed my course twice. I went and I did economics. That was what I was going to study first. Did a year of economics, didn't really like it. I did, in my second year, I switched to do accounting and finance. And
Ouch.
I was going to become an accountant. That was kind of the path. In my second year,
You don't seem like an accountant.
No, not at all.
They would have loved
Not
you.
that we're stereotyping or anything, but you know.
But then I realized I hated that as well. So in my second year, I did accounting and finance. That wasn't great. So in my third year, because I had already done some economics modules and did some accounting and finance modules, in my third year, I did switch to business economics, which was mainly economics with a few extra modules of business. Like I did the entrepreneurship module. I think it was like a franchising module and a few like more generalist business degrees, business topics, and then graduated with a business economics degree. But hated the course, hated the whole part of studying. I just did not enjoy it at all. The part we really enjoyed was running the Entrepreneurship Society, the extracurricular stuff that we did at university. I think we don't regret university at all. I think it was like a great experience. And I would recommend it for people. I think for us, the courses were not aligned with what we wanted to do afterwards.
I think what they did do was open our minds to basically make me bathe in humble pie. Like, I thought, at that tender age of 18, I thought I knew everything and I could make $1 million by the age of 23 and I'd be sorted. And actually what I learned at university was that there's so much that I just don't know. And that alone was worth the value to just change that mindset. So
It was a learning experience.
yeah. And we got to live by ourselves.
Spaghetti bolognese and how washing machines worked and like how to survive, I guess.
In the wild.
Yeah.
In the wild.
I called my mum like every night for like the first 2 weeks. Mum, how'd you make pasta? Mum, how'd you make chicken?
Yeah.
How'd you
Mum,
boil an
how'd you-
egg?
How do you make this microwavable meal?
It's crazy. We didn't have smartphones, when we went to university, even though it doesn't feel that long ago, there was like no smartphones. Like phones just text people and called people. So like it was like, let's call our mums and ask them how to do this rather than boot up the laptop to Google it.
No, it's bonkers that the kind of pre-smartphone times. You take it for such granted nowadays, don't you? You can
We
just-
used to take digital cameras out on nights out. I have like a great memory of taking out the digital camera. The day after, you would take the SD card out of the camera, plug it into your laptop, upload all the photos to Facebook, and then tag everyone. Take
So-
like a full hour.
That was like the thing to do, and there was like a night out every week, if not like 5 times a week. So my Facebook photos, there's basically like 10,000 photos of me drunk on a night out at university, and then in the period of like 3 years, and then for the last 10 years, there's like 100 photos of me sober. And it's like ridiculous. Like, don't ever scroll back on my photo.
I'm
Why
gonna
did you- you
so
shouldn't
doing
have
that
said that.
now.
I
It's like
it,
literally
honestly.
So bad. I do need
First
to
job
make
after
them
the
more
podcast.
private.
I know. We're going to see Jack Whitehall tonight, or 2 weeks ago when this
cool.
goes out. And I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to go through your Facebook. Sounds way more fun.
That's all you need. A wheelchair in a nightclub is a good photo opportunity. I think that's why there's more of you, Pete, than me.
Yeah. I once got I once almost drowned in a foam machine party
Oh, wow.
because the foam, it came on so fast, and it was a certain type of dance floor where there was like stairs on either side of it, and my friends had helped me down to it, but then they'd gone for like drinks and stuff, and then this foam machine started, and it just kept on rising and rising and rising, and everyone stood up, right?
Yeah.
I'm sat down. So, like, all of a sudden, I'm like, it's up to my eyeballs. Like, I can't like do anything, and then it starts to go over my head,
Oh, my God.
and it goes builds and it builds and it builds, and at this point, have you seen that part in Jurassic Park where they're in the long grass and everyone just like mysteriously like just falls down? It was like that. So there's this gap in the middle of the dance floor where everyone's like, oh, there's a clear part of the dance floor there. Let's move over there. Boom, fell right on top of me. It was like a whole death zone. And then people started to fall over onto those people. And it was like this huge epidemic. And like these bouncers had to come and figure out what was going on in this dead zone. This Bermuda pyramid, whatever it's called.
You really shouldn't laugh. Someone died.
No, they
No, they
didn't.
didn't.
Sideways look at Michelle.
I was like, shit.
Where do we go from here, Michelle? Oof.
I think we're going to have to edit that bit out.
I was starting to panic. I was like, I can't breathe. People are falling on me. Like, I was just like, hands on the head, like, ah.
Like in Jurassic Park, you need like someone cool to invent an option on the chair that you can push a button, and then there's like a sphere that comes around it.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good. But we were in an age of no smartphones.
But yes.
Oh yeah. Have to go
Like
back
the
in
gold,
time.
the proper dark ages. I don't think I had a phone actually until my 3rd year uni. An actual phone.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't have one at all.
Yeah.
I had a Nokia flip phone.
Oh yeah, so cool. I had
It
a,
was the 3210
That's
around
what I had.
our years.
yeah,
Making a comeback, isn't it?
yeah. It's indestructible, whatever the word is. You couldn't break it. It's
Take
great.
it to a phone party, test that out.
Oh no, they weren't. But they weren't necessarily waterproof. Not like these ones nowadays. One of my favourite things to do is for people that don't know that the iPhone whatever is waterproof is to like pretend to drop it in a pool. The faces, it's brilliant. Elderly relatives will love it. It's my favourite party trick. Okay.
So you've moved to Newcastle. Here's a segue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interested in setting up a business.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what that business is?
No. So between second and third year of uni, we set up a really bad business, and it basically was a business that sent motivational text messages and jokes and riddles to students.
Okay.
And it was almost like a tester business at the time. So when we graduated, we kind of had that. Mm-hmm. We were thinking about launching an app. We had an idea for like a Tinder for business before Tinder was even like a thing that we wanted to launch. to make money, we started doing like web design on the side. We took some of the quotes that we took from the text business and put them on t-shirts and had a t-shirt business.
We also had a good news website
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
because we wanted to, share the joy with the world,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
the news is so dismal.
Yeah.
It is.
But like we
Yeah.
had all of these fingers in all of these different pies, and like nothing was really going anywhere. And I wish someone back then had just said to us, guys, you can't do all of these things. Like none of them even make sense together. It's like people knew us for different things. And we actually looked at what was making the most money, and we always had a real passion for business and for marketing. We had no real experience in that, but what we were good at was building websites. And when we launched someone's website, it was almost like we were setting up a new business every time we did it, and it was giving us like a real kick. And so that's what we decided to do. We decided just to let's focus on the web design company. It was like web design, branding, graphic design. The real focus was marketing down the road, but we had no experience. But we could build websites. So we were basically building these websites for like small startup companies, mainly in Newcastle, did a lot of networking, and then just doing the marketing stuff for free on the side of it. Like, okay, you've got a new website, you've got a new business, like let's help you market this business. And then that eventually morphed into a marketing company, and we stopped all the web design stuff. And then after we did marketing for a few years, then we started realizing like a lot of these small businesses, they don't necessarily have a marketing problem. They've got a lot of other problems. They've got a sales problem, or they've got a focus problem. So for the past maybe like a year to 2 years, we've been transitioning away just from marketing to helping small businesses grow their business a lot more quickly and a lot more effectively, and really niched in on the niche of small businesses, micro businesses, often solopreneurs doing it by themselves. They don't really have a supportive community. They don't have someone that can say, hey, I've done that, it didn't work, try this instead. And we focused a lot more down on growing Atomic, which is our program and our community, and launching the event to go alongside of that. And that takes us up to now, I guess.
Yeah, it takes us up to present day. So that's what we do. That's all we do. In fact, now we even taking that whole idea of the focus one step further. We actually had about 9 different income streams. So we had affiliate income, we had the event, we had the Atomic program, we had one-to-one coaching, we had one-off like brand deals for bigger companies, like big Fortune 100 companies. We had speaking income and book sales. I feel like I've missed some more, but that's only like 5 or 6.
Lots.
But lots of different income streams. And what we realized was we actually mapped out how much money we were making from each one of them. And then we extrapolated that out over 5 years based on the current growth that we'd had. And if everything basically like plateaued along at the same level of growth for the next 5 years, what would have the most amount of money? And by far it was Atomic and Atomicon, like by hundreds of thousands of pounds more than anything else we could ever do. And so we thought to ourselves, well, if they're going to give us like 100 grand more than everything else, then why should we be splitting our time 9 different ways right now? What would happen if we cut those 9 income streams down to just one, and we focused on that for the next 5 years, and it would have a bigger growth, and thus we could make even more money than that 100,000. And that's exactly what happened. Like, we've made way more money in like a fraction of the time because we've been able to focus on the thing that we enjoy the most, but also the thing that gives us the most amount of money, and it's scalable. And that for us was probably the biggest thing we've ever done in the last like year or 2 that's helped us the most. Just cutting down literally everything. And that was really hard. So We had book ideas. We've got book design covers that we have. You know,
Is there an aftershave range?
Everyone is writing a book.
Makeup.
Yeah.
Maybe next Christmas.
Yeah, we've shelved it. No pun intended. So we've shelved the book ideas. We had to fire like our one-to-one clients, which was really tough because we really enjoy working with them. We've said no to speaking gigs, which is really tough, especially when they're going to pay us a lot of money and they want to fly us to nice, cool countries. We've had to just say no. That's hard, but we know, let's say if we did a speaking gig, we could get paid X amount, and we fly there, and it takes a good week out of our schedule to get over the jet lag and prepare for it as well. Whilst you're there, you can't really do that much, even though we always say, oh, we'll work while we're there, and we never do.
No.
We are so bad at that.
No. So, what could we do in that 5 days of time? Well, in that 5 days, actually, we could make this amount of money because we have before. So it's a total no-brainer to do something like that. And I would recommend everyone that runs a business does that. Just think about where the money actually is and
I feel like
why they're spreading themselves so thin, doing all these other things that don't actually make any money.
Yeah, I think the longer we go on, we get a lot more organized and a lot more focused. And I think we've got to the stage now where we know we're going to get more organized and more focused than we currently are. And because we always thought, okay, now we're focused,
Peak.
now we're organized.
Peak
yeah,
focus.
we peaked. And then like a year later, it's like, damn it, we really weren't focused or organized. We thought we were. So now I feel like really focused, really organized. And yet I know 12 months time, unless we have peaked at this point, Pete, but I feel like we probably
can
haven't.
go higher.
I feel like
everyone can always go higher.
Yeah.
Probably see it's quite common, isn't it? With a business, my impression is you almost have to. There's an assumption. Would you say is it? If I spin all these plates, I'll see what happens, and something will succeed.
And I think
Whereas what you said about spreading yourself thinly is
absolutely, and I think to a degree, when you're just starting out, you do need to try a lot of things, see what you enjoy, see where the demand is, and I think a lot of people they try to offer so much, and they're kind of so focused on doing all these things that they miss the huge opportunities in front of them. Like we know a company that they do these amazing social videos. And they're like just insane, and everyone's always like, you guys, those videos are amazing. I always watch every video you put out on Facebook. Like, I want some videos like that. And they come back and say, great, like we can do your videos, we can also do your Facebook management, your Twitter management, your Instagram, we can do SEO, we can do this, we can help you with the website. And it's like all these things that they didn't actually want, but they're just offering to maximize revenue there. Which on the surface sounds good. But actually, if they were to just focus on that one thing and say, hey, we do social videos, and we're like the best at it, they would make so much more money. And so that's what they've done. And you know what? They've made way more money now than they ever did. And they're like taking on staff. They've got a new huge office. And they're absolutely nailing it and getting these huge brands to pay them a lot of money to create these amazing videos. And I think people often turn a blind eye to where the demand actually is, and I think that's something that you just need to check yourself with sometimes.
And I think the other side of that as well, when people talk about the benefits of diversification and like building out lots of different products and services, like they'll use huge business examples. Like they'll say, oh, look at Virgin, they do
Apple.
they do banks and they do this and they do that. Or look at Coke, you can Coke to Sprite and Dr. Pepper. Look at all the different products that they offer. And a lot of those businesses started just doing that one thing and doing it remarkably well, growing the business, and then they'll start doing everything else. And I think a lot of businesses will compare that it's that whole cliche, isn't it? Like, don't compare your start to someone else's middle or someone else's end.
Yeah.
Like, if you look back to see how a lot of companies grow or how they grew, they did just that one thing. They did it really well, and then they added new stuff in.
Yeah, it's like innocent smoothies.
Yeah.
Just innocent smoothies. Now they do like everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think this really applies to small business owners. Like, just do that one thing really, really well, And, it's so important to not overwhelm yourself with everything.
Yeah, I remember like back, we'll look at like old brainstorms or old things that we did at university when we were like full of ambition. We still are full of ambition. I feel like we were even more full of ambition back then. And we would have like, these are all the different things that we're going to do by the time we're 25. And
it's ridiculous to think about it
is.
now.
Like, where would we find the time to do all that stuff? I think we did want the aftershave at one point.
Yeah, we did. But you can absolutely do all these things, but it's like at one step at a time. We want to take Atomic to the place where it looks after itself. It's gaining members like all the time without us having to do anything. And once we've reached that point where we've got the resources, the budget to kind of not have to do that much with it, then we can move on to the next project, whatever that is. And that's the way you want to look at it. Like, get something up and running, and so it's selling itself, it's looking after itself, you've outsourced all the processes to do with it, then move on.
Because there's an element as well, isn't there? Excuse me. We last saw you present, when was it? Must have been Newcastle Startup Week.
Yeah.
And there's a really good presentation you did, and I remember one of the key messages was about focusing on, it's the 90-10 rule.
Yeah, the 90-10 rule.
Marketing.
It was a marketing talk. So the 90-10 rule was a marketing talk originally, and it basically said, if you are creating content, or if you are participating in one of like the social networks, then spend 90% of your efforts doing just one thing remarkably well, whether that's a blog, or whether that's YouTube, whether that's Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn. 10% of your efforts you can like faff on with the rest of them. And we wrote that as a marketing talk, and then we realized it applied to so many different things. Like, if you're selling, and if one thing really works to get yourself more customers, stop trying to spread yourself so thin across all the different sales drivers. Like, spend 90% of your efforts doing one thing really well to get more customers. Or your products, if one thing is selling really well, then spend 90% of your efforts on that one thing. Or customers, if one type of customer is attracted to you or buys from you a lot, then stop trying to appeal to everyone. Like, spend 90% of your efforts trying to appeal to that one person.
That's the talk we saw at Newcastle Startup Week the year before, I think it was, about the crisps.
The crisps, yeah.
Yeah, we're not stalking you, honest girl. Just her sitting in her Andrew and Pete fangirl t-shirt. I remember one time I put this top on, and I think I put it on because I'd run out of like pajama tops. So I got into bed with Andrew and Pete fangirl t-shirt, and my little boy was like, "Who are Andrew and Pete, mummy?" And how are you a fangirl? So, for crying out loud.
Oh no!
You mean you hadn't told him about this?
He'd seen you, but he hadn't put it two and two together, I suppose.
It's been like the next Santa, couldn't we? Oh, well, Andrew and Pete bring presents every year.
Well, you do. So yeah,
You bring presents of information and joy to the world.
and focus.
But only if you've been good.
Yes. Only if you've been good. Hilarious. So what about, this is a bit of a personal question actually, what happens if you have a business and the bit that's making money is the bit that you don't love doing?
This is a really good question. And I think it's a lot to do with your personal goals. Like, are you setting up a business because you love what you're doing and you actually love the business? Like, we absolutely love our business. But yes, there is a part of it that it needs to kind of support the lifestyle that we want outside of business. So if you're running a business and you hate the actual business part of it, but it's making you a lot of money, then only continue with that if it is supporting like your lifestyle. If like your business is letting you take the Fridays off with the kids, or it's letting you not even work, you can get someone else in to like run that business, and it's just making you money to do what you actually do love doing. But ideally, in an ideal situation, you would love what you're doing and you would want to work because you actually have a passion for what you're doing.
And to a degree, like, there's always ways to change that around as well. So if it's not making money, like, how could it make money? If you really don't like doing any of the other stuff, and this is the one thing that you love doing, and you're not making any money from it, can it make money?
Yeah.
If not, I would even suggest like stopping that business, doing that as something you do on a weekend just to make yourself happy, and running a business that actually does make you happy and makes money.
I mean, you might as well get a job if
Yeah.
you really aren't enjoying the business. Unless, like, the business is paying you a ton of money.
Like, yeah. I'd say it's just a playoff in personal preference. But I think, if you have enough passion for something and you can be clever about it, you can always make money from it. I think the biggest problem is that people put their head in the sand and just hope that one day it will pay off. And, they'll read these Instagram quotes that will say, like, it's all about perseverance. And, the millionaire isn't made overnight, and anyone successful has taken 10 years of hard work. But, like, it's not been 10 years of no results. And then one day, after 10 years, they suddenly, like,
Ta-da!
make it.
Yeah.
Like, it's 10 years of, like, improvement.
Yes.
So if something isn't working for you or you're not enjoying it, change it. Like, immediately. Stop doing it. Like, we have to tell that to a lot of people, and it surprises us all the time. It's like, this isn't working. Why are you still doing it? We know someone that's posted on Facebook every day for the last, 10 years, and they've never once got a comment or a like.
Oh,
10
Isn't
years,
it
and they
sad?
post, every day.
it's like,
And it's like, well, change the strategy. Jeez.
What's that
Do
saying?
something about it.
If you keep doing something,
It's a sign
Definition
of
of
insanity.
It's a
insanity.
sign
Yeah,
of
that's it.
insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how quite a lot of companies I come across. It's that kind of,
Yeah.
we've always done it this way. Has it worked?
Yeah.
No. Well, why are
It's
we
like
doing
that
it then?
head in the sand thing.
Yeah. What we
Um,
tried to do is we tried to give ourselves like pattern interrupts, and they are like pattern interrupts for the sake of it being a pattern interrupt, like going to events or setting up a meeting with someone that we really look up to, or going to a mastermind event, or just something that's going to get us out of the office, get us out of the same kind of get up, go to work, do the job, come home, and actually get us thinking. And sometimes it's really hard to do that by yourself. So like literally taking yourself somewhere to do that has been really, really important for us. As soon as we started going to events on a regular basis, things like got really, really exciting.
Yeah, because then we started to think about other people's perspectives and start to think about, why are we doing this? And the biggest impact was probably when we went to social media marketing world for the first time. And at that
That's in
point,
San Diego.
in San Diego, yeah. At that point, we had been running a local networking event, and out of all the local networking events, it was quite a good one. It was quite popular. We had maybe 40 people come in regularly at its peak. We went to social media marketing world, and there's a guy there called John Lee Dumas, and he had a podcast for the same amount of time that we'd been running our networking. And, he's a multimillionaire after 18 months. And we're there sat thinking, we're putting a ton of effort into this networking event, and we're reaching 40 people. He has 1 million people listening to his podcast every month.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Seriously, why don't we start a podcast or a YouTube channel or a blog, or why don't we get doing something like this? And just having that perspective in your life just completely changes things.
I think it just took us out of that really local mindset, and I think sometimes you do feel like Atomic Networking that we were running at the time was going really well, and we felt like it was going really well, and it was going well locally, but we were stuck, and I don't know why, but we were stuck in this kind of local mindset where there is so many more people out there that the internet allows you to connect with, to meet, to get inspired from, to work with, and going to that event changed our life, changed our business, because it was the first time we'd plucked ourselves out of this Newcastle ecosystem and put us more on an international stage. And I remember at the time, Pete pitched the idea to me. I don't know. Yeah, you had heard about the event, and he pitched the idea for me. And this was back in 2015, so it was the very start of 2015. I think it was January 2015. The event was March 2015.
No, there was 6 weeks
Right, yeah, so it must have been
before the
February. So it
event
must
that
have
we
been
found out.
February 2015
Yeah.
when we found out about this event. We were making money at the time, but to fly 2 people to San Diego, the conference itself was like $1,000 each. No, I think it was more like $2,000
It's
at the time.
$1,500 each.
Plus flights and eating over there. It was like well out of our budget.
Plus a week out of the business. Like,
Yeah.
could you just take a week out of your business in 6 weeks' time? Like, it's like, whoa, no.
So I was like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm the numbers guy. I was like looking at the accounts. I was thinking, I'm not sure, Pete, about this one. But then Pete went home that night and he like looked at all the different ways that we could do it. He found like hotels. He found a tiny pot of funding that we didn't know about here in Newcastle. And he emailed the organizers and sorted out there's a cool deal on the tickets. And
I stayed up like all night and I came back the next day and I was like, look, if we do this, and we can get it for this price and so forth, we could do this. We could do this. And we wanted to make the most out of it. And what we did was we stalked all the speakers and we made a list of like the top 10 that we wanted to speak to. And we wanted to like collaborate with them to grow our audience. And so we basically, we retweeted and replied to these 10 people for like 2 weeks. And then we built them all a custom landing page that was all like, hey, we're Andrew and Pete. This is why we love you. This is why we've chosen you. We'd really love to meet you. We're coming all the way to San Diego. Can we buy you a coffee? And like there's this huge like whole campaign. Like it was a lot of effort. It was a lot of effort. And like 5 out of the 10, like we actually got to meet. The other 5 were nice about it, but we just didn't have time, or we met them after or online. And we actually got to meet like 5 of our idols at this event, and it was like amazing.
yeah, and it was just incredible. So I would recommend to everyone, just you might think that you're doing really well in your own little ecosystem that you've built for yourself, but is there a wider world out there that you could be getting more inspired from?
That's a great question. Yeah.
What would you say as well about the dynamic of being in business together with a friend?
Yeah,
How does that work?
I think it was good that we were friends first. We get asked that question a lot, and I know some business partnerships don't work out. And I think the fact that we have always been friends first, business partners second, has helped us a lot. I think like even if we have disagreements around like business things, it's not going to destroy the relationship because we are friends first. We've learned a lot about each other, I guess.
We've done like lots of profiling of each other.
Yeah.
And like I now know how Andrew likes to be talking to
Oh.
and not.
In your love languages then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Still not a couple.
No. But it is interesting, isn't it? Like that whole, we are very similar in a lot of ways, but very different people. We think very differently. We communicate very differently.
So that becomes a complementary element to the business, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm very direct and to the point, where Pete needs a lot of discussion and information, where I can think of an idea and I've solved all the different solutions in my head, and then I say the idea to Pete, and then I get frustrated that he's not on board with it straight away. But he's really thinking about all the things that I've just solved in like 2 seconds in my head.
That's what happens with us. But it's almost like James has an idea, and then he literally turns around and I've done it.
I'll still be reflecting on it. Then Michelle will go and
Yeah.
do it, and then she
what
loses.
Andrew's like.
She then loses
Yeah.
interest.
It's really annoying, isn't it, Michelle?
Andrew will come up to me and he'll go,
Oh, it's done.
He's busy doing something, and he'll go, Pete, can you just get this for me? And I'm like, yeah. Okay, go on, I'll do that.
And it's
You
like,
might not bear with
that's
me.
just like really frustrating.
And by the time I get open this thing to do it, he's like, it's okay, I've done it. I'm like, it's so annoying. Just don't ask me, just do it. But yeah, what I would say though is like for us, it's been amazing, and it's great to have someone to work with, bounce ideas off, and to encourage each other, inspire each other, and whenever either one of us is down, we can can help each other. There's 2 caveats to this. Number one, we have to make twice as much money. I don't think people respect that. Like,
It's like you've got an employee from day one.
yeah, most people like never actually employ anyone full time. We've had to do that from the start, so that's been hard. And the other thing is, like, I would say like 99% of all business duo collaborations, like obviously not you two, but we see a lot of them just like not go very well. And I think it's because they go into it for the wrong reasons. So to anyone listening, it seems really intriguing and comforting to actually have someone else in the business. But just be wary, like don't rush into it just for that emotional reason. If you're only doing that for emotional reasons, and that's hard to admit, then it's usually not the best idea.
Like, you need to have the same goals. I don't think me and Pete have ever disagreed on where we want to get to. We like might have disagreements on different routes to get there, and we have to like talk it through and work out which is best. And usually it is something in the middle. Like one of us will have an idea, the other one won't think it's a great idea, and then we'll compromise on something. But we've never had that main goal has always been the same. And I think with a lot of business partnerships that we see fail, it's like there is clearly like a conflict of interest or something that didn't quite fit together from day one.
Yeah, the values piece isn't there as well. There's like similar values.
Yeah. Well, Pete doesn't have great values, so I'm not sure about that one.
Andrew just keep me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, I'm like, no, Pete, we can't threaten people to get them to join Atomic.
Why not? Press gang them into it. Okay,
Do you want to go to questions?
go on then. We've not done this before, so we've got a bit of a quick
We-
fire round because we thought it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, we need to.
Rubbish at quickfire.
Oh, well, that'd be good then.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Rubbish. He
Remember, I
goes-
have to think
he
about
doesn't
stuff.
not
Well, we'll
know
ask-
the
We'll ask
definition of
Andrew
quick-
first,
Yeah.
and then by the time it's your turn, you might have thought of something. You can pass. You can so pass.
It's not all about speed, Andrew.
We need to come up with a name for it as well, don't
I
we?
know, we'll
But
think of it at
we'll
some
come up with
point.
Oh
something.
my god. This is not
Um,
even named game yet, Pete.
Yeah.
Where should we
So
start?
Privileged.
There's one on Facebook.
Yes, in the Atomic Group,
Yeah.
Kennedy. If someone carved or made marble statues of both of you, what would each of you be holding to symbolize you?
I've actually got an answer to this.
Ooh,
Go on then.
Quick fire, Pete. It's quick fire.
Well, he had some notice.
You just meant to ask.
You're supposed to be going first.
I've
but
got
you
it.
didn't.
Pete's head.
My head.
Pete's head. That's a good one.
I'd just feel like be holding my crotch. Like,
yeah.
see, most,
Most marble statues naked.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Also protecting your
Yeah.
delicate parts. yeah.
Modesty, yeah.
Or like pointing at somewhere.
Check this out.
Okay, good answers like those. If you could disinvent one thing, what would it be?
Voice bubbles. Voice messages.
That was so un-Pete.
I
but
know.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm being Andrew right now, quite direct.
Voice bubbles
They're
are the worst.
so annoying. It's like, I don't want to listen to 4 1-minute voice bubbles of you going, and there's something else I meant to say, but I can't remember. I'll do you another voice bubble. Wait, what was it again? Oh, I don't...
I was
It's
like,
like,
what the bloody hell's a voice bubble? But that's
Oh, that's
fine.
why you've only got a minute, and then you.
You know when you
Yeah,
send a
you've gotta
voice
keep going.
message rather than text someone
On, like,
Messenger or WhatsApp.
Yeah, don't bother with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
LinkedIn started doing it now. Like,
Yeah.
jeez, get rid of that.
It's like no one likes listening to voicemails.
No,
and
it's
they've
really convenient.
Literally brought them into
Yeah.
Messenger.
It's like it's really convenient for you to do, but for someone else to have to listen to
You have
that.
to go somewhere else or put the
So annoying.
headphones in.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and then they're like, "Hey,
It's
you
rude
didn't
almost.
reply."
It's rude.
Yeah.
What
I'm
about
quite
you,
passionate
Andrew?
about this.
Oh my god, I'm being very Pete now. Things that I would this.
It's quick fire, Andrew. Come on.
We can just edit out me thinking about this.
Yeah.
What do I really dislike
Waiting in queues.
Yeah, we can't really just invent that, but I'm really impatient. I cannot
so anti-British almost.
I know, I cannot stand a queue.
That's what we do. We find a queue and we go, oh, there's a queue. Let's go and stand in it. See what happens.
You know.
Yeah.
Move to another country.
That's fine.
Don't queue in France. Go there.
I just go right to the front. People don't question you, you know. People are queuing, like, say in Asda. If you just take your shopping and go right to the front, no one will say anything. I do it all the time.
Wow.
Ooh,
I
the
don't-
truth is,
I don't really.
everyone's like, what
You're getting
arsehole.
Wow.
We thought we liked Andrew, and then it was just a joke. Okay. Oof.
It's like that's
Phew.
it's like anti-British.
I don't think anyone would actually say anything.
No,
though.
I know, you're probably
I don't
right.
think they would. I would. but I
Especially
don't
if you're
like
in
queuing.
a wheelchair. Then
Yeah.
Oh, you get away with all
they're like,
sorts.
they'll move out your way for you.
Oh, theme parks with Pete is the best thing.
Really?
I can't go to a theme park without Pete now.
Okay.
It's like I don't remember what it's like to queue for a ride anymore.
I get
You'd have to get the fast
track.
pack. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
free. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's cool. Although there's a caveat, I'm only allowed 3 friends.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because obviously,
Whole coach
disabled
turns up.
people are only allowed 3 friends.
We
Okay.
once went to Alton Towers and there was 8 of us, so we went to get the disabled fast track, and the guy was like, "You can only take 3 people on."
So which ones do I like the most?
Yeah, well, Pete was like, "What are you saying? Disabled people can only have 3 friends?" And he was just completely taken aback by the question, and he just goes,
Move along.
Could any of your other friends be disabled?"
Oh, it's like all disabilities aren't visible.
So I was disabled for the day as well, and then I got 3 friends. Pete got 3
Congratulations.
friends. That's 8 people.
In
Fast
total,
tracking.
yeah.
But we couldn't ride the same roller coaster together because you're only allowed 1 disabled person per ride at a time.
Jeez.
Oh my word.
So we spent the whole day at this theme park and we could never like actually go on a ride together.
Could you not like transfer your disability to somebody else for just one
It
ride?
was like a wristband.
Oh.
It was like one of those wristbands that was stuck on. I kid you not, the wristband said on it, special.
No.
It
Wow.
did. That was, it had one word on this wristband. It said special. You'll find that on Facebook if you scroll back.
And all
Don't scroll
the
back.
drunk photos. You've been given an elephant. You can't get rid of it. What would you do with it?
Ride it.
Use it as a shower.
Take lots of Instagram selfies.
They make for great stories, wouldn't they?
Sell the tusks.
Oh,
Again, I am joking. I would not do that, and I did not jump the queue in Asda. I promise.
terrible. And what would be your ideal Christmas as it's coming up to the festive season?
Like the cheesiest Christmas possible. I go all out Christmas. I'll have all the lights, all the Mariah Carey I can take, all the turkey, all the elephants.
With tusks.
I would,
tusks.
I would like to pretend that I'm like 10 or something again and I get loads of presents.
Good call.
Because like at the moment, the Christmas for me is basically I sit in the corner and watch like my nieces and nephews open loads of presents and all my family like faff on around them. And then I just sit there and like text Andrew all
Yeah.
day like, hey.
I feel
I
like
got
we
some
are in
socks
that
today.
awkward age, aren't we? Where it's
Right.
like the magic of Christmas is gone, and we don't have kids to get excited by. So like your late 20s Christmas.
Yeah, it's a bit bar humbug,
Yeah.
if I'm honest.
Oh. So any listeners who want to send Pete a present?
Yeah, that's the best part, the presents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I can like play with, you know, like, you know. Otherwise, I'm just opening socks and shower
Brilliant.
gel.
Pete's really bad at buying other people presents, however, so like don't
Yeah,
rush
terrible.
out to everyone. Pete once got me egg poachers for Christmas.
Oh,
Give
cool.
over. You asked them.
I did not ask
He was
for the
like-
egg poachers.
Okay. For like the
I
first few
didn't.
months that I knew him, he kept on making poached eggs, and every single one of them was ruined. But he really liked poached eggs, so I bought him some poached egg makers. I
That's
thought that
really
was a
kind
really
and considerate.
good gift. And he turns around and he goes like, "I don't like poached eggs."
I mean, it's a good present, but not the only present. that's like a secondary or third present you might open. Not like, yay, egg poachers.
I get really excited
Let me
about
unbox it
cookware.
now.
though,
Get
to be fair.
started.
Yeah.
Was that the only thing I got you? I'm sure I got you more.
No.
We'll see.
So the final question, the final question is: we always take our guests back to their
Future.
18-year-old selves, which is obviously not that long ago. But
3 weeks ago.
what advice would you give to yourselves?
Oh, when we were 18, I don't know. It's a really hard question, that, isn't it? Because you think, like, would I tell myself to do something that I've learned a lesson from already?
Yeah, on May the 19th, like, jump. I don't know.
It's like, would you tell yourself not to go into that phone party?
Yeah.
I feel like you
I would
just
say-
wouldn't.
I would say, like,
You like bring a change of clothes to the phone party.
I would say be braver, because all the best things in life require you to be more brave. And I'd say the only thing holding you back from more happiness is usually that, like, you can't get over that fear to do something that will actually bring a lot of happiness into your life.
Wow.
Profound.
No.
Wow. That's hard to
Beat
follow.
that one.
No.
That is really hard to follow.
I even slowed down my voice just to say that.
More gravitas.
Yes.
I wish we didn't faff on for so long
Absolutely.
when we started.
Yeah.
Like, I wish we had gone to that event a little bit earlier on in our career. And I think as soon as we started looking more outward and asking more people for help and just making sure that we kept inspired, that's when things got really exciting for us.
Fabulous.
Excellent. So, if anybody likes the sound of you, if they haven't already heard of you, how do they get in touch?
If you go to andrewandpete.com, that's our website. Links to everything that we do are on there. We do YouTube is our favorite place to create content for. So if you go to andrewandpete.tv or search Andrew and Pete in YouTube, we will be right there.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for listening, and I hope people have enjoyed it. And if they have, like, feel free to reach out, send us a message at Andrew and Pete anywhere, and we'll look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.
And I was joking about the elephants
And the queuing.
and the queuing. Everything else was factual.
So when this goes out, we'll be getting ready to come and spend the day with you again. So that's really exciting, actually.
Yay!
Christmas
Christmas
party.
party.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Good.
You are too late, the guys watching, to book onto this because it's currently taking place.
So sucks to be you
So-
guys.
Thanks, in guys. It's been great chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks everyone for listening. Check out all the show notes at inspirationnorth.com. Join us again for the next episode when we'll be chatting to another inspirational person. If you like this, subscribe and tell your friends. If you didn't like this, subscribe anyway and tell everybody.